Hello and welcome back everybody to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time. Last time we had completed our first official mission for the guild, and today we move on to Chapter 3, The Scream. Up and at 'em, says Loudred. It's morning. Ugh, good morning, FB King, says Gar. Would you like to save your adventure? Yes, I would, thank you. Save complete. Well, we gotta do assembly. And 3, says everyone. I find it funny that literally everyone... Well, no, I guess not everyone is doing it. Okay, I was about to rag on our player character for not actually screaming it because they don't have the little exclamation point things around them, but I see now that a lot of Pokemon don't. Smiles go for miles, everyone says. Okay, Pokemon, says Chatot. Time to get to work. Hooray, says everyone. Probably seeing Chatot again. Oh, you two. Still wandering around lost, it seems, says Chatot. Well, come with me. Huh? Asks Gar. Last time we did a job, it was from the board on the other side, he says. Correct, says Chatot. Today, we'll have you do a job listed on this side. How is this different from the board on the other side, asks Gar. Take a closer look, says Chatot. Hey, check it out, FB King, says Gar. There are posters up here that show a variety of different Pokemon. Wow, they all look pretty cool. Are they famous explorers or something, Gar asks. Who are these Pokemon, Chatot? The Pokemon posted here, says Chatot, are outlaws. They're all shady characters and they're wanted for committing crimes. What? Asks Gar. They're all wanted by the law, he asks. Correct, says Chatot. So there are bounties on their heads. In other words, there's a cash reward if you capture one. There are so many aggressive Pokemon around these days that everyone's finding it hard to keep up with the problem. Wait a second, you expect us to catch outlaws, asks Gar? No way, that's not possible, he says. Just joking, says Chatot. The bad Pokemon out there come in all shades of badness, he says. Some of those Pokemon are completely wicked through and through. But there are also bad Pokemon who are merely petty thieves, says Chatot. So you've got evil to naughty and everything in between. So I'm sure we can avoid giving you a job of catching a super bad Pokemon. Says Chatot. So, look over these posters, then pick a Pokemon that looks weak enough for you to bring to justice. You say some are weak, says Gar? But they're still bad Pokemon, aren't they, he asks. Characters like that weird me out. That's all part of your training. You'll work through it, I'm sure, says Chatot. But I suppose you do need to be prepared to confront a tough opponent. So I'll have someone give you a tour of the facilities, says Chatot. Hey, Bidoof, he says. Bidoof. Yup. You called? Ah, Bidoof, says Chatot. These are the new recruits that just joined us. Take them and show them around town. Yes, sirree. By golly, I'll do just that. Yup, says Bidoof. This is Bidoof. He's one of your fellow apprentices. I want you to pay attention to what Bidoof has to say and follow his orders, says Chatot. Off you go. Aw, shucks, I'm overjoyed, says Bidoof. Why is that, asks Gar. I'm glad to have some members junior to me, says Bidoof. I'm almost overcome right now, he says. I might just blubber with happiness. Before you all signed on, I was the most recent rookie, he says. Well, I'd best show you around. Come with me, please, says Bidoof. First things first, says Bidoof. Here we have Krogunk. But to tell you the truth, I don't have any idea what that Pokemon's up to. He always seems to be fiddling around with that big cauldron back there. It's all a mystery to me, yep, says Bidoof. Over that way is the mess hall. And if you look over that way, you'll find the crew room, says Bidoof. And this here leads to the Guildmaster's chambers, he says. Next I'll guide you both around to places outside the guild. This is the main part of town for the locals, says Bidoof. It's called Treasure Town. Oh, I can tell you about Treasure Town too, says Gar. That place is Duskull's bank. We can save our money there, says Gar. And over there is Electivire's Link Shop. That's where you can do things like link moves together, but I guess Electivire isn't around today. This is the Kecleon Market. You can buy and sell items here, says Gar. And there's Kangaskhan's storage. Items stored here will never be lost, says Gar. If you have precious items that you can't afford to lose, store them here before you go on an adventure. And those are the basics for exploration teams. That just about covers it, I guess. You sure know a lot, yes sirree, and that's good to know, says Bidoof.
Alrighty then, come find me when you're ready to go. I'll give you a helping hand with selecting the right outflow for you, says Bidoof. Thanks, Bidoof. You've always been really nice about this, says Gar. Golly, you're embarrassing me. Aw shucks, says Bidoof. I'll be waiting at the guild's upper ground floor for you, he says.
Alright, let's go, says Gar. I'd like to see what kinds of items are available. Let's go to the Kecleon Market. Before we head back, a visit to the Kecleon Market is a must. Well, if you were around for my last playthrough, you know what I'm gonna be looking for every time. There they are, the classic handy Reviver Seeds. Honestly, there's nothing really here to buy at the moment. Mr. Kecleon, says Meryl. Ah, little Meryl and Azumarill, says Kecleon. Welcome, my young friends. Hello, may I buy an apple, asks Azurill. Oh, most certainly, says Kecleon. Meryl and Azurill bought an apple at the Kecleon Market. Thank you, Mr. Kecleon, says Meryl. No, thank you, my young friends. You're to be admired, says Kecleon. You see, those delightful children are brothers, says Kecleon. Lately their poor mother's fallen sick, so those youngsters come to do the shopping for her. It's quite remarkable though, very young, they've stepped up and taken charge. Mr. Kecleon, says Meryl. Oh, what's the hurry? What makes you return in such a rush, asked Kecleon. There was an extra apple, says Azurill. We didn't pay for this many, says Meryl. Oh yes, that, young friends, is a gift from me and my brother, says Kecleon. Please share it amongst yourselves and do enjoy. Really? asked Meryl. Yay, thank you, Mr. Kecleon and Mr. Kecleon, says Azurill. Oh, not to worry, my friends. Do take care on your way home, says Kecleon. Youch. Oh. We're sorry to bother you. Thank you so much, says Azurill. He gave the apple back, but then suddenly... Huh? What was that, I asked. Dizzy, or am I... Help! What was that, I asked. I'm sure I heard a shout for help just now. Did that shout come from you, I ask? Is something the matter, asks Azurill? Hey Azurill, says Meryl. What's going on? Hurry home. Yep, I'm coming, wait up. Are you alright, asked Meryl. Yep. We're done with our shopping, now we gotta look for an item we've lost. Let's get going, says Meryl. Yep, I'm coming, says Azurill. Ha, those little guys are cute, says Gar. Huh? What's wrong, FB King? He asked. Huh? Did you hear a shout for help just then? No. I didn't hear anything like that, says Gar. Hey, Kecleon brothers. Did you hear anything strange just a moment ago? No, nothing out of the ordinary, says Kecleon. I didn't hear anything odd either, says the other Kecleon. See? The Kecleon brothers didn't hear anything like that either. You're probably just imagining it, FB King, says Gar. No, I'm positive I didn't imagine it, I think to myself. I definitely heard it. That shout I just heard. Help! There's no mistaking it. That was Azurill's scream. Are you daydreaming, Asgar? Let's go already, FB King. Hello there, Kingston Storage. What does the Joy Ribbon even do? Earns XP. Oh. Okay. And what does this do? Deep pink bow, slightly. Wow, okay. Just boost everything good. Alright, noted. We'll hang on to one apple. Everything else can go up for now. And then we'll also... I think we have to do it from the items. Joy Ribbon. I guess no, I should be able to. I guess not. I guess I can't give it to him from here. From in town. Hey, what's that about, Asgar? Yay, says Azurl. Thank you, says Meryl. Please, it was nothing, says Drowsy. What's going on, Asgar? Oh, hi, says Azurl. Some time ago we lost an item that's pretty important to us, says Meryl. We've been looking all over for it, he says, but we still haven't found it. Then Mr. Drowsy came along and says he may have seen our lost item somewhere. He even offered to help us look for it. We're so happy about this. Awesome, that's great for you, says Gar. Thank you, Mr. Drowsy, says Azurl. Oh please, says Drowsy. I'd have to have a cold heart to ignore kids in need. I can't turn a blind eye. Let's be on our way to begin our search, says Drowsy. Yep, says Meryl. Yep, says Azurl. Whoops. Excuse me, says Drowsy. What is this? I ask. That Drowsy sure is a nice Pokemon, says Gar. You've got to admire that. With more and more bad Pokemon around, it's hard to do good deeds. It's happening again. Another dizzy spell. If you keep being difficult, it will mean big trouble for you, says Drowsy. Help, says Azurl. What was that, I ask. I sure hope those kids find their items soon. Huh? What's up, FB King? What's with that grim look? You want to tell me something? What? You had a dizzy spell, and then you saw Azurl being threatened by Drowsy, so you want to go rescue Azurl right away? It's an emergency, says Gar. Well, what you described does sound like an emergency, but... Well, it's not like I don't trust you, FB King, but I just can't believe it, he says. I mean, Drowsy looked like an honestly nice Pokemon, didn't he, asked Gar? I watched the three of them go off earlier. They looked like they were having a good time, didn't they? You're probably just tired, FB King. Maybe that's why you just had that bad daydream. Was that it, I wonder? Just a bad daydream? But come to think of it, that Drowsy didn't seem like a bad Pokemon. Anyway, we're only apprentices. We can't just go running off on our own, says Gar. Sure, it's worrying, but we have to focus on our guild work for now, he says. Let's get ready to explore, then meet up with Bidoof. Bidoof said he'd be waiting for us on the guild's upper ground floor. Let's get to it, FB King. Alright. We're gonna quickly store everything that we got, and then we can head on back to the guild. We don't have the time to wander off. We have the guild's work to do now. Bidoof is waiting. Alright. Okay. Let's go see what Bidoof has for us. Huh? You folks are all set and ready for some exploring, asked Bidoof. Yep. Oh yes sirree, you reckon you're all ready. Let's pick ourselves a lawbreaker for you to find. Well, you got your pick of a bunch of sorry characters, says Bidoof. Let's see, who should we pick, asked Gar. Ahem, says Bidoof. As your mentor, how about I do the choosing, he asks. Don't pick one that looks scary, says Gar. Yes sirree, I hear ya, says Bidoof. Let's see, eeny meeny. Stand clear, updating list. Stand clear, updating lists. What's happening, asked Gar. Oh, the data's just getting updated, says Bidoof. It's being updated, asked Gar. Yikes, did you see that? The panel flipped over, says Gar. What's going on here, he asked. The Outlaw Notice Board and Job Bulletin Boards are set up on revolving panels, says Bidoof. While the panel is flipped over, a Pokemon named Dugtrio swaps out the old jobs with the new ones. Dugtrio, asked Gar. Updating data is Dugtrio's duty. He tunnels his way to our guild, then flips the panel and updates the data, says Bidoof. This duty doesn't get noticed much, but it's very important. Yep, says Bidoof. That's why Dugtrio takes such great pride in the duty he does. Oh, is that so, Ascar? Update complete, stand clear, says Dugtrio. Update complete, stand clear, says Dugtrio. Oh, looks like he's done, says Gar. Yes, sirree, the data was updated. The list of outlaws has been refreshed, so let's pick one, says Bidoof. Huh? What's ailing you, asked Bidoof. Why are you shivering all of a sudden? It's not cold here after all, says Bidoof. Take a look at this, FB King, says Gar. Up top on the left. It's Drowsy, says Gar. He's a wanted criminal. We have to get moving. Azura will be in serious trouble, says Gar. Now what's going on, asked Bidoof. Where are you off to? Bidoof be like, Oi! Where are you off to? Hey, there's Meryl, says Gar. Meryl, what's wrong, asked Gar. Where are Azura and Drowsy, he asked. Yes, about them, says Meryl. After we all left, we went looking for our lost item together. But I wound up all alone when Mr. Drowsy went somewhere with Azura. I called and I called, but they didn't come back, says Meryl. I got scared. So which way did they go, asked Gar. That way, says Meryl. You're sure Drowsy and Azura went off in this direction, asked Gar? Yes, says Meryl. Oh, FB King, the Drowsy and Azura you saw in your dream. You said you saw them in a mountainous place, right, asked Gar? I think the two of them are up ahead here. Let's roll, FB King, quick. Alright, into the dungeon. I think I'm actually gonna call it here for this episode. This has been an actual pretty long one for this episode so far. As always, boys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time whenever we continue out through the dungeon and go and rescue Azurill.